We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest event of all time.
Good news for the sport.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. John, we are in episode 13 of our season 4.
That's incredible.
We're almost as old as Yellowstone.
Wow. And I feel like I know somebody who's like the main female character in Yellowstone. Very
Bethany?
similar personality. Yeah.
Oh, I know her too.
Yeah.
She's not up in Wisconsin with you yet.
Not yet. She gets in tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that's true. But, you know, you're in Wisconsin, everybody. I'm in Ocala. John's enjoying his family annual vacation.
Yeah, it's been a big boat day today. We've been getting the boat all prepped to be ready to go in. The other thing, Rick, is it actually was technically, as this airs, just the 4th of July a couple days ago. So Happy Independence Day to all the Americans. Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians. Happy whatever day to everybody else that you recently had to celebrate your country. Rah, rah. Everybody should be patriotic for where they're from. So that's awesome. And we just had Aachen as well, Rick.
Yeah, my anniversary. What are you talking about?
It's our anniversary?
No, my anniversary.
Oh,
Not
I
your
thought you meant for the show.
No.
Yeah. So
July 2nd was our anniversary last year, 2022. We just rolled around a whole year.
which is awesome. And did you get the gift that we sent?
No, it's okay. You're a year late, so I don't need it anymore.
You told me that as long as I got it to you within a year, it was on time.
Well, now
So-
it's over a year.
So, but it's still coming. It's
It's good.
it's growing right now.
Okay, it's growing. That doesn't sound good.
Didn't you want trees or bushes?
Oh,
or
that's
something?
right. Yeah, we were doing the tree.
Do you still-
forgot it's been a year.
Do you still need trees? Not that I didn't already buy.
Always need trees. Give us
Okay.
trees.
Right.
Hey,
perfect. All right.
we have big news though. Let's talk about Aachen.
Yeah.
Aachen was really exciting. Did you watch?
I watched what I could. I was traveling and driving, but yes, I kept checking in. I mean, so obviously Yasmin Ingham won again, which is incredible. 25 years old. She's won
Was
the
a
world
world
championships.
Now she
Now
went to
Aachen.
Aachen.
Yeah,
She's
it's
on it.
incredible.
And then of course Michael Young second with. Hey there, just have him come join you.
It's my sister. It's fine.
Hey sis.
She's out again.
So Michael Young was second
Yeah.
in Germany on Chipmunk, and we had one of our own from the United States of America, Tammy on My Bomb.
Yep.
Then we had fourth, which was, I believe,
I've got it right here. Fourth was Christoph Weiler from Germany.
Yep. correct, and then Mix Master C and Liz Halliday Sharp in fifth,
Yep. And then we
followed
had
closely by Z.
Philip. Yeah.
Philip.
Awesome.
Hey, look, I was looking at, we'll talk about the team placings. Good for you, United States. And I know, I'm sure they're all looking, and, I was rooting for Will. He was in fifth place going out there. You could really tell he was going for it.
Right.
And I do know that at the one complex, there have been some problems, I think, and it was kind of amongst all this stuff. And to me, it just looked like it was unfortunate. He came in a little bit too hot and had a run out. But,
Well, I think the thing is, right, you can go out and be conservative and jump a clear round and not be competitive.
right.
Or if you know you've got a good team, which I think, is probably something we were going to get to anyway. The results that the US have been getting recently, I think, shows we've got a good team. It's not like the World Championships were
It's time to work on the speed.
Right. It's not like the World Championships were like luck and, oh, great, we got it done. Like, we're pretty consistently competitive now. And that shows not only in the consistent team results we've been getting, but also the scores we've been finishing on. We were less than a rail out of gold, which is awesome.
And I can say, and to your point, I thought Will was great for going for it. It's unfortunate, and then ending it up, I don't think we ever expected. It's always expect the unexpected, right? Because My Bomb had a rail, and Mixed Master C had a rail. So they are good show jumpers. And then if you look at the team placings, it was Germany in first, Second was United States. Third was Great Britain. Quite a lot of points down for Great Britain, right? There were 3.3 points between us and Germany. And I jotted this down. Tammy had 2.8 time penalties. Mixed Master C had 4.4 and Z had 5.2. So there it is.
Fast.
Right?
It's faster there.
Yeah. I mean, and that was a total of 5, 9, 11, 15 points. So, I'm sure they were trying to get it done, but
Absolutely.
It's that's how close this competitions can be, based on, getting around that course. So congratulations, United States. Silver is a great finish for Aachen. Good job, Tammy, for being on the bronze podium for that. And well done.
Yeah, it's awesome. It just shows we're on the right track over here. Those guys are on the right track over here. And, I think the thing is then it also raises the level of everybody, doesn't it? Because those guys come back home and the rest of us all have to compete against them. And, if you're up there, you're competing against Philip or Tammy or Liz, and you're being able to be competitive with them, then that means you should be able to go and be competitive with anybody. And that's what it's all about. They're just raising the standard everywhere, which is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I've been here at WAC while you were with your fancy boat driving to Wisconsin. And by the way, saw pictures of those white walls.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, huh?
Wow. Did people stop you on the road? How many
I'll
times
tell you what, I got thumbs up and like hang loose signs probably from about 7 or 8 guys, but they were all like middle-aged, sort of 40 to 60-year-old white men, like old dudes who were like, yeah, awesome boat. It was never any young kids or like hot chicks. It was like just old dudes, but whatever. It was cool.
That's all right. I was here while you were driving up there with our super cool medium pony Orchard Hills Snapchat.
Yep.
Doing the event at WEC. And let me tell you, it does make it nice when when you're rolling out of bed and it's 100 and something degrees during the day. And all I can tell myself is I'm in indoor too.
In
and
the air
it's
conditioning.
78 degrees in there.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah. So
Yeah.
Pony did great, was third in the Hunter Classic with a kid that's never done the Hunters before. So I'm really proud. That's Diego. Well done. And we are here with a bunch of friends for our celebration of time for the 4th of July, as we have celebrated it when this was coming on Thursday, but we had to pre-record.
Yeah, no, for sure, because I got boating to do tomorrow. So speaking of pre-recording, the other thing that we did for everybody, as you know, Rick, but just so everybody's aware, is our guest today is Bettina Hoy, which is such a treat and an honor that she was willing to come on the show. I mean, she told us what a big fan she was, and she was so excited to come on. She begged us to come on. She kept calling me and hassling me and hounding me. Can I please come on? Can I please come on? I'm like, Bettina,
get me on there. Get me on.
Relax. She's like, no, I really want to come on your show, please. And I'm like, fine, Bettina, you can come on the show. So we had Bettina Hoy on, and
we did predictions, didn't we?
We did predictions. So everybody's aware is we're going to take a break here. When you come back, we're going to have Bettina. This was done a few days ago before Aachen actually happened. So she made her predictions. So we're going to see how those predictions stack up. And then the whole interview in general, once we talk about the predictions, is actually very relevant and doesn't matter that it was done before Aachen. I think it was a great interview. She was awesome, and she gets to stick around for all 4 segments today. She was just an incredible interview, and it was, in all seriousness, very nice of her to agree to come on to our little podcast.
Yeah, I agree. And to those out there, when you come to listen to her, she's a FEI representative for riders. And so it's really good that she has some insight on a lot of things. So it's great to have that conversation with her and what our future looks like for our sport. And we all need to have that in mind as we move forward. So let's get to it, right?
Well, before we do though, Rick, we do have to say, I have to have an apology to our next segment sponsor, Equibrew, because when I bring in that segment, I neglected to say that it was the Equibrew segment in the beginning. And I know that Equibrew is debating dropping us because of this. So
wait, I got to tell you, and that's not true, because are we good? Are we good with John? Yeah, we're fine. So we're good.
Okay, perfect.
But
Thank you, Echo.
I'm gonna give a story.
Yeah.
We were at WEC at the Grand Prix, right?
Yep.
I had lunch going in there. I know we're running over time, but I want to
It
tell
doesn't
the
matter.
story.
It's our show. Come on. You told me it doesn't matter.
So I was there and our family's there. We have a bunch of friends and we're celebrating our year anniversary. And I just don't feel like up to snuff, right? I'm like,
Right.
I had Briggs make me something with cabbage instead of lettuce for lunch. And
Right.
I'm like, I don't feel really good. And he looked at me and goes, you are going to have margaritas tonight. You are going to have champagne. I was like, I really don't feel very good. And the pony was at WEC and we had
Right.
Equibrew there.
Yep.
So he goes, go get some Equibrew. So I got on the golf cart. I drove. I picked up the big bottle of Equibrew and I swigged down 3 gulps. And I put it down. Literally,
Oof.
I'm being serious. Within 10 minutes, I did not feel sick anymore. And I was able to participate in the party and have fun.
You probably just violated some sort of law recommending Equibrew to humans. Some FDA.
No, it's safe to eat.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And drink. But I'm not promoting that you do that.
No, but it helps your horses. It's awesome stuff. It's like kombucha for horses. It helps their guts, and I use it on every single horse that I have. So I will say it's pretty amazing. I haven't drank it. I don't know. It looks.
Well, Dougie and Briggs take it every morning. They do 10 cc's.
I mean, okay.
We do have human brew in New Zealand. It hasn't come over here yet. So just so you know, New Zealand's Equibrew, they have Equibrew, Pet Brew, Calf Brew, and Human Brew. So
I drink Human Brew. I'm going to drink it every day this week.
Human Brew, yeah, I know you are. But Human Brew, as you said, you mentioned FDA. It comes over if it's something for human consumption. You go through some hoops, but it's not like that COVID thing that everybody said use that horse thing that would cure COVID. This is nothing like that. So let's not go there.
So Human Brew will be in the US eventually, is what you're saying.
It will. And it's just a live probiotic. That's all it is.
Right. Well, I can't wait. And we're going to be right back with Bettina Hoy with our Equibrew segment.
Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622
or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Hey, it's John here. I just want to let you guys know I got back from schooling at Magnolia Sands Farm here in Ocala, Florida. Their cross-country field is perfectly suited for a first outing on a young horse or schooling your upper-level horse. Magnolia Sands offers over 110 jumps ranging from starter to intermediate, plus multiple banks, ditches, and waters. They're constantly updating their courses and have even added new ditches and a starter ditch wall. Conveniently located in Northeast Ocala, Magnolia Sands has made it easy for riders and trainers with online waivers, Venmo, and PayPal, and even offer a golf cart for guests. MagnoliaSandsFarm.com.
Equibrew, now available in the USA. It's a live probiotic that you feed daily to your horses. The live microbes go into your horse's gut and cleans up the gut wall, creating a healthy gut system.
Equibrew is an essential part of my feeding program. My horses love to eat it, and it does a really good job of promoting gut health and also good behavior and great performances.
It's something I recommend for all of your horses, no matter what they do in their careers.
It's so affordable, I can use it on all of my horses in the barn, not just my top horses.
Order Equibrew today by going to brickfieldnutrition.com or calling 850-879-2649.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. And we are really excited because we finally wrangled you, Bettina. We've got Bettina Hoy here, and we really appreciate you making the time for us.
Great to be on your show. I'm keen to hear more about it because I have to admit, I don't know anything about your podcast.
Oh, come on. I was just going to say that this has got to be a highlight of your career. Being on the Rick Show.
Certainly of the day. Certainly of the day. So you did make that.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take what we can get for sure. So again, thanks for coming on. And obviously, big time star in the sport, multiple Olympian, multiple European championship rider, lots of medals, lots of accolades, really need no introduction at all. So I actually wanted to kind of start with, you've been like everywhere I look at all the major events, you've been around, you've been in the US a bunch. I saw you were up at Bromont. Before we sort of rewind and go back into like talking about your career and your sport, what are you up to nowadays? What are you doing?
I'm actually at the moment getting ready to do some TV commentary for German TV for Aachen, because obviously Aachen is this week. And I've been asked 4 years ago, I think it started, to co-commentate with one of the main persons that works for German TV, which is, it's quite exciting. And I sort of start to prepare early enough, calling, on my friends, getting a little bit sort of, behind the scene stories, what's the stable name? How do they train? Is there any interesting, about owners, about the rider, the family, little things like that. Like in Aachen, for example, Bill Levitt is riding and his daughter Ursula is in the vaulting. So she vaults for Great Britain in Aachen as well. I think that's a funny story. And that's something, that certainly the German, but I think all over the world, I think spectators like that. They want to have something different, just so, or that person was 5th in Poe and 7th in Kentucky.
Right. Absolutely. Get all that background information on them.
Yes.
So with that, as an American, obviously I know Aachen, I've been following the event for years. It was a big highlight for us over here when Will Coleman won that event. But to you as a German, what makes that event such a special event to go to?
It's definitely the biggest equestrian show in the world. You've got all disciplines there. In the beginning, we all thought, we're just going to be the poor relation to dressage and show jumping, because that's what we used to be in Germany. Now that we've had the success in Germany for a good number of years now, thanks to Christopher Bartel and Hans Melzer, it has changed a little bit. And I think now we draw a very good number of spectators onto the cross-country on Saturday, cross-country Saturday. And it's for us a very big shopping window now. And to be there and see all the other disciplines, like I go on Thursday, because on Thursday evening is the Nations Cup. And just to feel the atmosphere in the main arena is quite exhilarating.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be incredible. And it seems like it's just sort of like an annual World Championships almost.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely is. I was texting with Dan Kreitel the other day, and because obviously it's his first time in Aachen, and I said to him, the show is mind blowing, and he needs to keep that in his mind, and he needs to try and stay in his bubble, because I think when you compete there for the first time, it can be quite overwhelming, and it's very important that you try and do that so that you can focus on your performance.
And is that more due to the cross-country course being that impressive, or is it more the spectators or the sort of the level of competition you're going against, or is it all of those things?
It's a little bit all of it, but I think it is the fact that it's probably more the main dressage arena in the main stadium. I think once you're out on the cross-country, you're in what feels comfortable in a way. It's very intense. It's in a smaller space, so it comes really quick and fast. And if you want to be competitive, you have to go very fast. So that is very intense. But it is the overall experience. Like you have the most amazing show jumpers. As you said earlier, it's a bit like a world championship, being with all these other amazing equestrian stars at one show.
Yeah, and Bettina, how is the weather? We've been hearing a lot of the lead up to badminton and a lot of other weather over in Europe. How has it been in Germany, and how do the conditions look for the event coming up?
It's been very hot, but when I check the weather to know what I have to pack in my suitcase for being in front of television, it's going to be, the weather will be fine. It will be in the low 20s. This is Celsius, so I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. So I think the weather will be pleasant. And the one good thing about Aachen is it's a very wealthy organizer. So they will have no problem spending whatever it costs money-wise to have the ground on the cross country as perfect as possible. And the track originally was done for the World Championships in 2006. And it used to be just a normal field with cows on. And I know that for the World Championships, they basically built I don't know how you call that. You know, they basically built what's underneath a motorway and then put soil and grass on top. So it's a proper surface underneath before the grass cover came on top. So it will stand up literally every weather condition.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. I'm sure they put a lot of time and effort into that and leading up to it. So the competition, it starts this week. It's Wednesday when everything gets going, correct?
Well, it's Friday for the dressage for the eventing. The show jumping and dressage starts on Wednesday. The vaulting started already last weekend.
Wow.
So it's literally a 10-day show, and the vaulting starts first. Then I think the show jumping gets going when we are there. The dressage starts, and when we are finished, the 4 in hand go onto the cross country.
That's certainly amazing. I know it is a big undertaking to have all our disciplines there. And, you know, now that the World Championships don't operate that way. So that's probably the only place now in the world that we can see all this going at one time.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know of any. I mean, I thought it was very exciting to see the show jumping in Kentucky, because I think that is a very, very good move, because it gives another lot of spectators the chance to come in. I think it is important that we share venues. I mean, if we look towards Olympic Games, and we are definitely asked as a sport, equestrian as a whole, to keep our costs down. And the more we can share venues and show that we can actually do that we can generate money with getting more spectators in, I think the better it is for the future of our sport.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting point, because I remember when the show jumping started at Kentucky, I think in general, the event riders were like, okay, that's a good idea. But there was definitely enough of us that felt like, oh boy, is this going to kind of take the limelight off of the event and make it more of a show jumping horse show with Kentucky going on at the same time, with the 5-star going on at the same time. And it seems like it's not done that at all. It's just added to it. So I think, to your point, it can really increase the profile of the competition, can't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it can, as long as it's not at the same time. I think in Aachen, everything is sort of parallel. You can watch the show jumping, and at the same time, you can watch Grand Prix dressage. So whatever you prefer. But I think in venues where we have already our sport established, it is good to do it like they did in Kentucky, in an evening program. I think that's a very clever move to do it.
Yeah, and it was really cool because, like, we had Doug Payne ran around the cross country and also had horses jumping. So it was pretty neat for those sort of eventing fans who were going in to maybe see a show jumping competition in person the first time, to see an event rider in there doing that as well was kind of cool. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think it also helps because, you know, I've been in the sport for a long, long time. And I remember in my days when I started off, it was a little bit, certainly in Germany, the ones that weren't good enough for dressage and show jumping, they become event riders. And it certainly, it helps the other disciplines to, you know, respect and appreciate a little bit more with what we, but also what our horses do when they're at an event like that, and they have a chance to maybe watch a little bit of cross country as well.
Right. No, it's a great point. Rick, Bettina, why don't we take a break and just check in with a couple of our sponsors? Again, a huge thank you to Equibrew. I don't know if I got that in the beginning, Rick.
That's all right.
Do you think Equibrew will forgive us?
Oh, always.
All right. So this has been our Equibrew segment. It is amazing stuff. It is like kombucha for your horses. It is amazing. I got all my horses on it. They eat so much better. They feel better. They eat all their grain, which is awesome. So then I don't have to feed them so much. So thank you, Equibrew. Thanks, Rick, for bringing it over. And we will be right back.
Equibrew, now available in the USA.
It's a live probiotic that you feed daily to your horses. The live microbes go into your horse's gut and cleans up the gut wall, creating a healthy gut system.
EquiBrew is an essential part of my feeding program. My horses love to eat it, and it does a really good job of promoting gut health and also good behavior and great performances.
It's something I recommend for all of your horses, no matter what they do in their careers.
It's so affordable, I can use it on all of my horses in the barn, not just my top horses.
Order EquiBrew today by going to brickfieldnutrition.com or calling 850-879-2649.
Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Hi, my name's Leslie Law, and we are a proud supporter of Jump for Joy. We've been using their portable cross-country jumps now for about 10 to 15 years. We love these jumps because, as you can see, they're very easy to move. It would only take another person on the other side, and I could place this fence wherever I wanted to very easily.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are still here with Bettina Hoy. Thank you so much for staying with us. And I believe, John, we are going to start talking about specifics on Aachen. While it's happening after what we're doing right now, we wanted Bettina to kind of give us her insight on who she thinks might be in the top three.
Obviously, one of the favorites will have to be Michael Jung on Chipmunk. He had originally two horses entered, but Kendra Ocean Power just went last weekend to Stregum. I think he wanted or needed a backup for the European Championships, and he won the 4-star long. So he's got that. So it's just Chipmunk. Another, hot favorite in my eyes will definitely be Tammy on my baum, I would say. And someone that obviously has had great results in the spring in the US is also Liz Halliday Sharp on her horse. It depends a little bit. I haven't actually, I don't know who's judging, so it will be interesting to see. Let me think of the other Germans.
No. Joe, let's hold on a second here. What I just got out of this, Bettina, was that of your top three, two of them that you think, and again, now this is a little bit like psychic because the competition has actually already happened by the time people are seeing this, but two of your top three were Americans. So a German picked two Americans in the top three. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tammy has got the big advantage that she's ridden there. Mickey obviously is always extremely competitive. And with the show jumping being before the cross country, I think Chipmunk will be absolutely fine. And yeah, he does know how to ride fast, but I was very impressed by Maibaum's dressage in Kentucky. And if I would have been judging, I would have given him more marks because you could see the correct training coming through. It really worked over the top line through his body, just the way we really want to see it. So I think I put my money on her this time around.
Oh, we made you switch. Now you got the American winning it. This is big. This is big. All right. Well, you heard it here first, even though it's after. Bettina picked Tammy to win. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Bettina, switching from that, and we appreciate you giving us your insight. And John and I had the same thing. I think I was right, John, for Kentucky because I picked Tammy to win.
Why do you bring this up every time you get the chance?
Just because you haven't got my dinner for me yet. So
you're right.
But as we move into this, we've had a lot of discussion, I believe, here and across the world on our sport, Bettina, and the microscope we've been put under. What is your insight as we move forward to, and I think it's a great thing that German TV is doing back behind the stages, kind of giving more insight into the world of horses and how much care we do with our horses and how we prepare. On the FEI side, I know you have a lot of input for this. What do you think us as riders should be doing to ensure that we move forward in the right direction?
I think one area that some riders already do it very well, like I think Laura Collett does it great, Boyd does it great, is social media. I think, when you talk to someone, I was actually talking to someone this morning that has looked after my dog while I'm away. And I asked him, what does he like when he sees horse sport on television? And he said, I want to see how they hug their horse. I want to see what they do at home. I want to see, how they get ready for the competition. And I know it's very difficult, especially if you're like a one-man show and you don't have anyone employed that does it. But I think social media is so big and so powerful. I was last week, mid last week, I was at the Special Olympics in Berlin, and that's the Olympic Games for the mentally disabled people, riders, athletes. And there are things that you see where you think, wow, there was one boy with Down syndrome and he was ready to go into the final and he was hiding behind the stables with his horse. And he was talking to his horse and someone just, held the mobile phone, the camera on him. And he was saying, I know you try really hard and I try really hard for you. And I know if I don't get it right, you will help me out. And we're a team and we can do this together. And I will give my very best. It was so sweet. I had tears in my eyes just watching it. And I thought, well, this is something I know we probably all feel it. You're in the start box for the cross country and you think, shit, mate, you might have to help me out if I don't get it right. But we never communicate that. And to show how much we act as a team and can only act as a team if we want to be really successful, I think we don't portray that enough. And I think it would change the image of us riders. I think in many people's eyes, we are still seen as the, rich people that can afford to have a horse and travel around the world. And most of the people don't realize that we work bloody hard to pay for what we're doing, and that it's definitely not that we are rich kids that gets the big lorry and full of amazing horses and grooms, and then we go off to a competition and win. It's not that glorious, as you all know.
Yeah, that is so true, John. On the side over here, and how about now through that, Bettina, we've talked about it here, rider responsibility, how we are portrayed when there is live stream going on, and we should be doing this even though we know the camera's not on us, and we should be reacting and doing things. And I think we get judged a lot for the heat of the moment, and sometimes our mental capacity might be clouded, not in a bad way, but just in a focused way. How can we as riders start really implementing when we are in the heat of the moment to really be focused on the right things in that moment?
I think preparation is a key. I think you have to be really, really well prepared for the next competition that you're planning on going. Get as much information as you can, and have also a team around you, whether it's a trainer, whether it's a good friend that just reminds you before you set out on the cross country. Badminton was a classical example. I remember having had a conversation with Pippa Funnel at Lemulin, and she said to a few riders at Thorsby, which was their prep run before badminton, she actually stood up in the final riders meeting and just said, look, the ground is tough. You guys that maybe haven't done hunting, I can only advise you throw your watch away and feel what you've got underneath you and act accordingly. And if it's not your day, pull up, it's not your day. And I know we have all listened to, the smart talks of the president of the ground jury in those moments at the briefing. And I've probably heard as much away as other riders do. But if another rider says it, like Pippa, I think it gives it much more weight. And at the end of the day, as you said, we are so much more in the limelight, and not every competition is our day. And you can only listen to your horse, and the horse will tell you what they're capable of doing on the day or not. And there is always, 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 always another day if you pull up, always. I've never regretted pulling up or not even starting on the cross country if it didn't feel right. But I have regretted going when my gut feeling said, not sure if it is my competition this weekend.
That's incredibly wise words, and hopefully something that sticks, and hopefully something that I can actually cut out of here and use as a little promo. So well said.
Well, I think to Bettina's point, we over here have the ERA of NA, and it's now a part of the U.S. Eventing Association, and we have meetings on this. And I think Marcia Kulek and some others have come up with the idea, just to your point about standing up for the riders at our events here in the United States, to have riders more involved with the opening with our competitions, and to have those riders that do have some weight behind them to stand up and give that eulogy, or not eulogy, but
It's not a eulogy.
Yeah, right. Statement for the competition, because I think there's, like to your point, there's always the next day or another day, and to make the decisions. So I think that's a really good thing.
Also, she made a really other good suggestion, which I think that's maybe not internationally, but nationally, it could be something to be implemented. She said, if there's a senior rider that would wear an armband, let's say for the 2-star or the 3-star, that means, look, I'm approachable. You know, you can come to me if you have a question about a certain jump, the ground, the weather, the aftercare, nothing obviously that takes God knows how much time away from that person. But if it's just a general question, because we are all more than happy if someone comes to us and asks a question to give an honest, true answer. And if by wearing an armband, it can signal to people, look, you can ask me, I'm happy to answer all those questions. That might also be an idea for the future, to assist a little bit. And the same would probably apply for some of the judges as well, have someone in cross-country control that can say, I think you should pull that horse up, because the rider in the heat of the moment is a little bit overfaced, and they can report back and say, okay, maybe it's not your day, let's stop it here. Because, we've maybe been in those situations or not, but sometimes it helps if there's another senior rider that assists on that call.
I love that idea. We might have to look into that over here as well. It's a good idea. Let's take another break. If you can stick around a little longer, Bettina, you still okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna take a break. We will be right back.
Jump for Joy fences are easy to move, lightweight, durable, and low maintenance. So we're out here on the cross country. We just finished over in the show jumping over the Jump for Joy fences. Had a great time schooling over them. They're really nice and easy to move, so we were able to adjust some things and really have the exact school that we needed thanks to the Jump for Joy fences. I love them.
Order yours at jumpforjoyusa.com.
Hey, it's John here. I just want to let you guys know I got back from schooling at Magnolia Sands Farm here in Ocala, Florida. Their cross-country field is perfectly suited for a first outing on a young horse or schooling your upper-level horse. Magnolia Sands offers over 110 jumps ranging from starter to intermediate, plus multiple banks, ditches, and waters. They're constantly updating their courses and have even added new ditches and a starter ditch wall. Conveniently located in Northeast Ocala, Magnolia Sands has made it easy for riders and trainers with online waivers, Venmo, and PayPal, and even offer a golf cart for guests. MagnoliaSandsFarm.com.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. Bettina, you've agreed to stick around, so we really appreciate that. I know you're itching to go to the gym, so thank you for this.
It's still very warm.
Yeah.
I quite like it to cool down a bit more before I go.
Okay, well, it doesn't happen here in Florida, so I'm going to go later, and it's going to be really hot, so that's the way it goes. So you did not get to go to Poland for the 4-star there at, and I always screw up how you're supposed to say the name of it. Sturgum, is that right?
Stregum.
Stregum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to say it with a German accent. That makes it
exactly.
better.
It needs to come out a bit stronger.
Stregum. Right. All right.
Yeah,
I'm
that
here.
was good. That was good. That one.
Well, I have a lot of German ancestry, so I can channel it. Okay, so you weren't there, but you watched it all online like we did.
Mhm.
Before I get into sort of my questions, like specific questions about the course, I'm sort of wondering your general thoughts of the competition and particularly, obviously, the cross country day and how you think that all went.
I mean, we are in Germany, or I would say probably in continental Europe, extremely thankful that we have an organizer and a competition like Streckung, because they literally run every 4 weeks. On the other hand, you get a little bit sick going back to the same event over and over and over again. I know this time they had an FEI course there as well. I know Derek was there, Derek de Grazia was there, and holding a TD course designer course, and I think an overall official course, which Marcin does that very clever and very professionally. You do run a lot of up and down, and you've got lots of jumps. You need the horses to be really, really focused of where to go and not look at the wrong jumps, because you see hundreds of them. So it's not, if you've not been, it's not an easy course to ride over.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, I got a text message from my stall guy at the exact same time. I apologize.
Right? No.
I just hit ignore. So I mean, we have venues like that here in Florida where you go all the time. It's just a little bit unique that you go there that much. And then also it has a 4 long. Obviously, that's a big deal. So some of the things that I noticed with the event was they had a lot of frangible fences out there, a lot of frangible technology on the course. Obviously, at badminton, there was a controversy with William and the log into the water up by the main area. But it seemed like it all went pretty well there in Poland that way. What are the general, I know it's a very different world. Well, maybe not that much different. It's getting less different, but it's a little bit different in mainland Europe as far as the public's acceptance of horse sport in general. And so I personally think frangibles are going to have to be a huge part of keeping eventing going. But it does change a little bit, some of, at least for now, the looks and the shapes of the jumps, the size of the timber that can be used. Do you think that has or is going to change cross country in general?
I hope not. I hope it will just have the effect that it will change the way of riding and actually makes the riding better. I had an interesting conversation, Streckung 2 months ago, or even 3 months ago. They had a 4-star short as well and a 4-star long. And in the 4-star short, the time was really difficult to get. So everyone that had a not so good dressage test came out of the start box like shit of a shovel, and they were flying and took every chance. And they had, I can't remember what, Julia Krajewski, because I wasn't there again. I was talking to Julia Krajewski afterwards, because we've had that conversation of whether we should reduce the penalty from 11 to maybe 8, so that it's like 2 show jumps down. So people, general public, can understand the penalty a little bit better. And she said of the 7 or 8 that she saw in the 4-star long, she said at least 6 would have flipped over properly if it wouldn't have been a breakable device. And she then thought afterwards, actually, we need to penalize it harder so that people learn to react and ride a little bit better. I think it is the future of the sport. The frangibles will stay. And hopefully it will just improve the rider or the riding in the way that riders learn at speed to balance the horse, which it is. It's just not taking that first chance. And, you know, regardless of the distance, but just balance the horse, make a conscious decision, and be more effective in your riding. Because if you, I think, you know, apart from, you know, there are many other top riders as well, but I like to use Michael Jung. If you see him riding on the cross country, he usually never looks to be in a hurry, but his horses are so through. They're so well schooled at home. Within 2 strides, he's got them balanced. He sees the right or feels the right distance, can jump the fence, and then he speeds away. And I think if we want to be seen not using our horses, not leaving too much to chance on the cross country as well. We just have to ride better.
Right. No, for sure. With sort of that in mind and talking about Julia's thought about the penalties, I've always thought it actually should be a little bit more for breaking a frangible, because you're basically preventing at least a rider fall, in theory, or a banged up horse. And it always seemed kind of strange to me. I know we've been talking about this a bit already at the FEI, but it seems strange to me that you got 11 for a frangible and then you get 15 for a flag. That always just struck me as backwards. So with sort of your initial thoughts and then talking about it, where do you think we should be at with these penalties for a frangible versus a flag?
I don't know. I think both hurt enough. I mean, if you're not accurate, both will go, whether it's the 11 or the 15 for the flag. I don't know the answer, to be honest, if it should be changed at the moment. I think it is working at the moment. It certainly has proved in the past. You're out of the run if you hit it. I know a lot of riders were against the frangible. Like if you take, the table falling down of Liz Halliday Sharp in Kentucky, the riders' argument originally was it is to prevent a fall. Now, there was no way that she would have fallen if that wasn't on a frangible. The horse would have banged it, yes. Maybe the horse would have felt it a little bit more, but she wouldn't have fallen. It certainly did send the signal to everyone else, even when you come to that second last or third last, what it was, you have to balance the horse, you have to get them back, you can't just chase. So I think the effect that we wanted to have is already there, and whether it's 15 or 11, whether one needs to be more than the other, it is discussed. I haven't got the solution for that answer, or the right answer for that at the moment, but it is definitely something that it's been discussed also within the FEI.
Right. Rick, you got about
Yeah,
2
I was
minutes.
going to say, and then back to the flag conversation. I know there's also additional conversation for just period of flag. Like even if you're between, but you knock it down, that would be like, wasn't it going to be, the conversation is 7?
Yeah, I've been fighting that.
Yeah.
Until the last breath I will take, I will fight having that introduced, because I think that is taking it totally beyond the limit. Because when they introduced the idea, first of all, it's only been tested and trialed in Sweden at 2 and 3 star level. Now, what they forgot to say is, have they spoken with the Swedish riders? I did. And they said it certainly hasn't made the riding better. On the contrary, now everyone is riding an open corner at the widest part, which at 2 and 3 star level you get away with. Not a big deal if your horse can jump enough. And the other thing is they ride now back, jump the corner, speed away. So gone are the days of rhythmic riding. One Swedish official that I sort of informally talked to, she said, well, now the Swedes are riding even slower than before. That was her comment, which I thought that's interesting. And the Swedish riders hate it, but they know they're not standing up for it, or they're not fighting it, because they say, well, it's only a 2 and 3 star level, because Sweden doesn't have 4 stars. They go to Stregom if they want to ride at 4 star level. So they just let it go. It's only national. And I don't like that rule. I think that's taken it far too much into the wrong direction. And I don't think by penalizing everything, it will improve riding. And certainly, as I said, it will make riders ride backwards. And we all know those are the worst falls, is when you're riding backwards. As long as you're positive and you respect the cross country and you're a little bit more bold, not crazy, but if you're bold, it's far easier than if you hook and try and jump the fences like that. I think it's definitely the wrong way to go.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. And also, I think what popped into my head is it's really hard to regulate safe riding or riding for a rider. They need to take that on their own self. And, we can't regulate it in. We can certainly make it safer, but to a rider, we can't regulate how they ride. So they're going to have to take that on themselves and make sure they make responsible decisions.
Yeah, I think something that is a good idea, which I know they have it in England. I don't know whether it is to that degree already an international rule, but to have a watch list and someone that you notice that doesn't ride very well. I wouldn't go as far as reporting maybe straight away that person. But again, like if you would see a younger rider riding like that and then go to that person, say, I've watched you 2-3 times now. You need to take a step back. You need to go cross-country schooling. I think there needs to be much more open conversation between, the experience, the knowledgeable riders, the coaches, when they see something like that. But even take a mate aside and just say, look, I think you need to sell that horse. I know you love him. I know you have great beliefs. I know you haven't got anything else, whatever the story is. But horse is not ready for that level or is not good enough for that level. And it might be painful. But I think that is a responsibility that today we have.
That's amazing. An amazing point. Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think John can attest to this, that on a peer group that's been happening here in the United States. I think it's a very hard conversation to have, especially, but I think it's a responsible thing to have. You go to a friend, you say, I don't really think, this is working for you. I have a really good friend here that's a really good 4-star rider, and she had an accident at Carolina, and everybody went to her and said, look, that horse is not right for this sport. And she knew that right away and put it up for sale. I think we all need to do that. I know in the United States, we do have a national watch list. It is only accessible by officials, but that list is something that we're talking about on our rider committee of how we can better assist that watch list so that we can be mentors to those that might be on it. I don't know who those are or who those people that can see that, but we're working on that here too as well.
Yeah, I think that's very, because it's not about penalizing anyone. We want the sport to be enjoyable for everyone, but we also want it safe for horses and riders. And I think that there's got to be a way that we can do that amongst us. We're not such a big group, and we're all here for the same goal.
Yeah, it's an important thing to do, to keep talking to everybody about it and be honest with everyone. Let's take one more break. If you can stick around for one last short segment, Bettina, and then I will let you go, and I'll have to buy you dinner the next time I see you. So break.
Get in line. We got to go together, Bettina, because I guess he needs to double that up.
Yeah. Okay.
That's great. Good idea.
I owe a lot of people dinners. So yeah, we'll do that. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are still here with Bettina. Thank you for staying with us. We have a lot of great stuff we're talking about. And as we enter this last segment of our show, John, bring in the big questions now.
Well, okay. So actually what I'm interested in, Bettina, is, I've watched your whole career. You've had all of these amazing horses, amazing results. And now you're traveling around, you're doing commentary. I see you in Canada. I see you in America. You're coaching all these riders. Are you still riding?
Yes. Very boring dressage now on a 5-year-old that challenges me on a daily basis. I mean, a normal, like a show jumper or an eventer, you can ride from A to B and not having to worry. Dressage horses are different. So I'm trying to make him think he could be an eventer. He's not good enough over a jump, but I want him to be a normal horse so I can leisurely ride from A to B and still go into a dressage arena and not having to fear that there's a tiger in each corner. It's interesting.
That's actually super interesting to me because I teach a lot of different levels. I teach a 5-star rider or two. I have some aspiring kids coming up. And then I also teach a lot of adult amateurs. And I say to a lot of them, they maybe struggle with show jumping, or they struggle with dressage, or they struggle with ditches. And I say to them, look, like, they all have something, these horses. None of them are perfect. And I think for people to hear that Bettina Hoy has a dressage horse and she struggles to hack it around the property and not just go from the barn to the dressage arena, I think that's really an important thing for people to realize. These horses sometimes are pretty specialized, aren't they?
They are. And I think we often also make the mistake and make them specialized even more, but just keeping them in this sort of quiet, enclosed environment. So I make a point, he has to go into the water, he has to jump a little ditch. I work him on the flat in a huge show jumping arena with lots of different colored jumps. And it's very funny because where I keep my horse, she's got the most amazing show jumps. Like, you have huge silver horse heads, like really, really fancy jumps. And the one fence he will not go past unless I convinced him is the McDonald's jump. He hates McDonald's. Just the McDonald's sign. I don't know what it is, but he does not like the McDonald's jump. So
that's pretty anti-American right there.
No, now his nickname can be Big Mac.
Big Mac, exactly. But it's I find that very interesting, and it's to still ride, but obviously I ride my students' horses a fair bit as well, and to deal with those situations. I've done a lot of horsemanship training with him on the ground, because I don't want to get strong with him. I want him to trust me. And when I come into at a show, into an arena, and if I say, it's okay, Bob is his stable name, it's okay, Bob, you can go there, I want him to trust me. So I do a lot of work on the ground from the floor with him as well. So starting to think a little bit outside the box as well, and not just being that Germanic rider that says, you will go there.
Oh, that was very good.
Oh.
Also, just a little side note, I should have said it earlier when you were predicting that Tammy was going to win. I just want you to know it was not lost on me anyway that it is a German horse.
Yes, and she's got a German dressage coach. Jo Hinnemann is training her. So there's a lot of German in it.
Right. Okay.
German
so you haven't been completely
another.
unpatriotic with your pick. Well done.
Yeah.
So where are you based now, actually? I don't even know that.
Well, I'm living at home in my hometown, Rheine, which is very close to the Dutch border.
Right.
Sort of my most local event is Boekelo, and my horse is actually stabled not far from Boekelo. So that's where I keep my horse.
That's awesome. That is a fun part of the country. Now, as I say that, I'm always there for the event when I've been. It's a pretty awesome competition. Is it still a pretty fun place, part of the world to live in, even when the 3-day event's not going on there?
Yeah, like when you go, to the main town that's near Boekelo, it's always a fun place to go. It's fun in the afternoon.
Enschede, is that the town?
Enschede, yeah. And the shopping is great, and the party is great, and the beer is good. They fun places to go to. Definitely, they certainly do know how to party. That's for sure. Even on a normal day,
it's unreal. Like I went there. I think I've probably told you this already, Rick, but I went there. I've been there twice. And the second time I was there, we were trying to leave the stables on Saturday night to get back to the hotel. And I couldn't get out of the driveway because there was a drunk woman that kept throwing herself on the hood of my rental car. It was ridiculous. I just had to sit there and wait for her to sort of meander and collapse out of the way onto the side of the road. And then I thought about helping her a little bit, but she looked pretty belligerent and ready to possibly explode. So I left her and went home.
Yeah, you get some funny sights on after cross country, because they all go. I went last year was actually the first time that I went into one of those tents because I had an invitation, and I met one of the top Dutch show jumpers, Jerome Doubeldam, and it was right by fence number 2, and so we were standing there and chatting away, and I said to him, so, what do you think of this event? And he said, it's just, so close and 20 minutes down the road. And this is the first time I've never been. And I said, yeah, but what do you think of the cross country course? And he said, I actually haven't seen a horse today. he was only there for the party and the drinks, and they had loud music. So it's a little bit like people I know it from Australia, not America, but in Australia, when you go to the spring race and carnival in Melbourne, they all go, for the drinks and the party, and most of them don't even see a horse. So, but they do it right by turning it into a great party event, and which obviously helps funding the competition. So it's good.
That is good.
Yeah, and all the Grolsch beer you can drink, which is pretty
exactly,
nice.
Exactly. Headquarters is just on the other side of the road, so there's endless supply.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So where do you head to after Aachen? Do you go and do commentary anywhere else? Are you on the books to do something fun?
I'm actually going to judge. I don't usually do that much judging, but as most of my students live outside Germany, I can judge in Germany, so that's easy. And I judge what would be sort of kind of a German championship for a lower level, for going up to, I think you call it elementaries. Elementary, what's novice in England? No, preliminary. You call it prelim. Yeah, prelim. So it's sort of slightly below prelim. And they have their championship in Warndorf as well. So I do that. And what else is then? Yeah, probably then I will help Felix Fogg getting ready for the European Championships.
Yeah.
And then I judge this year for the first time the Bundeschampionat, our youngsters championship, which, we've talked about Aachen. And I would say this is Aachen for young horses, because you've got all disciplines, all young horses, starting with the 3 and 4 year old dressage horses, 5, 6, and 7 show jumpers, 5, 6, and 7 dressage horses, 5 and 6 eventers.
Wow.
They have one in hand, as in front of a carriage. So you've got everything there. All the top boys and girls have their young horses there, and it's a very exciting and amazing show.
Well, you've got a lot going on, and that's pretty cool. And then winter will come, and I'm sure you'll get back over to America. And
hopefully in the autumn. So
Perfect.
We'll see.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's when then I'll take you and Rick out to dinner. It'll be great.
Perfect.
Very
So-
good. I get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
that you don't forget it.
Yeah, no, I won't forget. Don't worry. I got you. Listen, Bettina, thank you. I know we've taken a bunch of your time today, so I sincerely appreciate it. Have a great time at Aachen. I hope that your prediction holds true and that America sweeps the top 3 spots and wins the gold medal, which is exactly what you said, I know. So thank you for that. American domination. And but seriously, we appreciate it. And thanks for coming on. And thank you everybody else for watching today's show. We had a great time. We will be back, I guess, in a couple of weeks' time with some more awesome content and guests. And also, guys, please make sure you check us out. Bettina, you as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It's the John and Rick Show. So subscribe to us on YouTube, any of your podcast players. We're on Facebook. You can get us there as well. So the more you guys can comment and like it and, say how amazing Bettina is for coming on the show, the better it is for us to keep getting out there. So thank you for doing that. And thanks everybody for watching.
My
Bye.
pleasure. Bye.
We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.